So, I am scribbling for like a little bit of a, not last second video, but I've just been super busy this week, and I'm also filming another video that's going to come out next week. I actually just went on Twitter and I asked for some people to send me some questions that they may have for back to school, high school advice, or just freshman advice in general. And then I also have some of my own that I'm going to give to you guys, but I'm actually going to be doing my makeup while I do this because more aimed towards beauty as well. Sorry if I keep looking down over here because that's just where my mirror is. Oh look, it's you guys. So, let's get started. So, well, I already put on my BB cream before I started this because I was like, oh, I'll just film it after I'm done with my makeup, but then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna do it while I do my makeup. So I'm gonna start with what people tweeted me. So the first thing that someone tweeted me was, what are some essentials for gym class? And I actually did a video on that, a little link like in the description or something like that, of like all my gym class essentials. I'm trying not to move because I'm pretty sure it's gonna go out of focus if I do. So but some of my gym class essentials are my hairbrush, which is right here. It is the Detangler. It's purple, which is my favorite color. This is actually my favorite color, purple. But yeah, I use this all the time and it helps get out the knots that I have, and I definitely get a lot of knots after gym class. And then another gym class essential, because I'm not going to go too far into it just because I already did a video on it, but it is oil blotting sheets, because if your face gets super oily, especially after being in the sun, which is probably going to happen, those are definitely a must-have because they just soak the oil up. There's ones by Clean and Clear, and I use the ones from CVS just because they're a bit cheaper and they would do the same in my opinion, but it just, I think it all depends on your skin type and whether you have oily skin, dry skin, stuff like that. So pick whichever works for you, test them out, you know, test the waters. Someone said, how do you avoid getting lost in school? Actually, Asian Nerd Life said that. I didn't really have that much of a problem just because during orientation and stuff like that, I did go find my classes, but usually I asked someone. I was never really someone who, you know, let myself be held back for fear of like looking stupid while like asking for directions to a class. Or usually schools have maps online of where each building is, and that's definitely something that I would use, and my mom always printed them for me because she's a great mom and she didn't want me to have to ask, but I was like, I don't have a problem with it anyway. So those would be my two ideas, but definitely if you don't want to ask other people, which is perfectly fine, you know, but I would print a map online, because that's what I did. And then this one's a little more serious. It's not directly towards freshmen, it's just a kind of a general high school thing. But how do you not focus on feeling so much or get over a crush? And actually, this was a huge problem for me my junior year. Basically, it took so long for me to get over it, but I just kind of forced myself to, you know, focus on other things. That's like one of the best pieces of advice that I can give, is to focus on other things and try to use the time that you've spent like thinking about them or stressing over their opinions about you or whatever, and just put it towards something productive. Maybe like your YouTube, maybe your school, maybe like hanging out with your friends, like go to some football games, something like that. Something to just get them off of your mind, because as soon as that happens, and even if it's just for a little bit, you kind of realize like how much fun you're missing by stressing out over something so little. And like, I don't even mean to bring down the whole idea that it's like that people stress over guys, because trust me, like I've been the queen of that before. Just because it's just part of being a teenager, I feel like. So it's definitely not something you should like beat yourself up for, but I think it's something that you should do everything in your power to not spend time on, because you're gonna look back and realize how silly you were for wasting that time when you could have spent it on something else, like, you know, like I said, hanging out with friends, enjoying your high school memories. Don't let a boy define your worth or define your happiness, because that can be one of the hardest things to get back after you've been in a situation like that. For a lot of people, it's difficult for them to get back to the place that they were before the whole situation happened, because they think that their entire self-worth and the meaning that they have is defined by someone who didn't give them the time of day that they deserve. And it doesn't really matter like who you are. You deserve someone who's going to give you the time of day and who's going to focus on you and make sure that you're always happy. And it's just don't lose yourself. There was this thing that I saw on Twitter about how it's not about falling out of love with someone, it's just falling back in love with yourself and making sure that you know that you come first. But yeah, on the topic of boy advice, if anyone who watches my videos really has any questions about that or anything, just feel free to leave it in the comments or tweet me or do whatever, because it can be a really hard battle to go through alone, and thank God I didn't go through it alone. I actually had a lot of people that were there for me and kind of pushed me through, and here I am now, happy. I'm living proof that nothing that's sad lasts forever. Yeah, like things get better. It's just the way the world works. My friend Kira, being the real MVP that she is, asked me a couple questions. She asked, the first one she said, is Freshman Friday real? And yeah, 100%. No, I'm just kidding, because I don't even want to joke about that because I think people are going to be scared that it actually is real. No, it's not real. I mean, if you're friends with like some seniors or like juniors or whatever, they might do it as a joke. Actually, if I can find the picture, I'll put it right here of my friend Jillian and I when I was a freshman, and we did it as a joke, and it was so funny. Can you explain why high school is nothing like High School Musical? Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out for myself, but just, you know, stick to the status quo, because at the end of the day, you know, we're all in this together, and by the time you're a senior, you'll be breaking free anyway, so it's not something you should really worry about, because high school is the start of something new. There's points where it's going to be all for one, and then there's points where it's going to be one for all kind of thing, you know, but it's pretty fabulous if you ask me. I am going to move on to the advice that I have. It's okay to drift from people that you thought that you were going to be best friends with for forever. I've been friends with my friend Kira since 7th grade, and we went to different high schools as well. So it's not even, there's no determination on who you're going to stay friends with. It's just kind of one of those things where you have to be open to what's going to happen, because there's going to be a lot of change, and there's going to be so much that you go through in the time that you're in high school and by the time you get out. So, okay, so another piece of advice that I have would be to just not stress too much. Obviously, you should aim to do well in school and do very well on your tests so that you can get into a great college, get a career that you've always wanted, stuff like that, and just kind of get to the point where you want. So I would say that focusing on doing well in high school is extremely important, but that being said, I think that if you get a horrible grade on a test, or you know, completely forget a homework assignment that's worth a big portion of your grade, or just something like that, like, of course, maybe try to like see if you can get extra credit, something like that, but don't stress it, especially if it's just a once or twice thing, because you have 4 years of high school, and 1 or 2 bad grades really isn't gonna do much like harm at all. And of course, like I said, not saying that you shouldn't, you know, want to excel all the time, but basically what I'm saying is just don't make it a habit to get bad grades, but don't, you know, stress yourself out over, you know, 1 or 2 bad ones, especially getting into college, because they more look at your GPA and your SAT scores and your ACT scores and stuff. The last piece of advice that I have is to not be afraid or shy, to just kind of jump in on things and make your high school years as memorable as possible, because they go by so unbelievably fast. It's actually insane how fast they go by. You will not even know you're a senior until you are a senior, or actually even until you graduate, because I'm not kidding you when I tell you freshman year, even though it was like really it was pretty much the only high school experience I had, it was my greatest year. And I think that even if I stayed in public school, it would have been the greatest year, because I was so outgoing, and I participated in a lot of stuff. Like the first day of freshman year, actually, I volunteered to go up and like shoot basketballs into the net, and kind of that's how I became friends with a lot of the people that I was, and I got closer with some people pretty much because of that. And then I also did the class games. I was in the skit my freshman year at our homecoming. What's it called? We called it the Fin, I think. I don't even remember. You only go through high school once, and after that you're done, and you're on to being an adult and having so many responsibilities. And yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for your questions. This is the last back to school video that I'm going to have from now on. It's just going to be regular ones. Coughs. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and go check out my other videos. There's a link to the previous one in the description as always, and make sure you read the description actually if you want to, if you have free time, because there's usually stuff in there that's pretty cool, like my previous video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will make more if you guys liked it. Alright, have a great year back. Most of you are already back, and I'm already back in college now. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye!